Hammondville Primary School and the community would like to acknowledge the Darug Nation on which we learn, create and grow together. We would like to pay respect to elders past, present and emerging, for they have and will continue to empower our land. With truth and honour, we too will look after this great land called Australia.
Today will mark the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month in the calendar, November. It is a day when Australians take time to remember the men and women who fought and died in conflicts.
The 11th of November was originally known as Armistice Day, the day when the First World War ended after 4 years of fighting. More than 416,000 Australians volunteered for service in World War I, and over 60,000 lost their lives.
Today we remember with thanksgiving those who made the supreme sacrifice for us in time of war. We pray that the offering of their lives may not have been in vain. Today we dedicate ourselves to the cause of justice, freedom and peace, and strive for the wisdom and strength to build a better world.
Our war dead are scattered across the world, buried in cemeteries and foreign lands. Their names written on memorials in many towns and cities. 102,000 names are on the Roll of Honour at the Australian War Memorial. Other Australian servicemen and women have died during peacekeeping, humanitarian or post-conflict occupation forces.
In Australia and other allied countries, the 11th of November became known as Armistice Day, a day to remember those who died in World War I. After the end of World War II, the Australian government agreed to the United Kingdom's proposal to rename it Remembrance Day, to commemorate the loss of Australian and Allied lives from war wars and conflicts.
Originally known as Armistice Day, Remembrance Day commemorates the signing of the peace agreement that ended World War II at 11 a.m. on the 11th of November 1918. It is a time for all to remember, respect and honour the memory of all those, the men and women who served, are currently serving, those we have lost to the cause, and for those who returned home with injuries, visible and hidden from view. Since World War I, Australia has been called on many times to serve in wars, conflicts and peacekeeping and humanitarian operations. Almost 2 million men and women have worn with pride the uniforms of the Royal Australian Navy, the Australian Army and Royal Australian Air Force. Tragically, over 102,000 names are listed on the Roll of Honour at the Australian War Memorial. Those listed were members of the Australian Armed Forces who died during or as a result of war service or for post-1945 conflicts, warlike service, non-warlike service and certain peacetime operations. In 1918, Australia made a promise never to forget the service and sacrifice of 416,000 Australians who enlisted and over 60,000 who died. For over 100 years, we have kept the promise. We will remember them. The First World War brought changes to the Liverpool local area, of which Hammondville is a part. There were extensive military training exercises in the area, and German prisoners of war were held at Holsworthy. The Holsworthy-Moorebank area was again used during World War II to train and house thousands of troops. The Army has maintained its long association with the Liverpool community through the Holsworthy Barracks and field training. We have long held a strong association to the Defence Forces and remember the sacrifices they have made and continue to make for the freedom we all enjoy today. Hammondville Public School students and staff will remember them.
In May 1915, Lieutenant Colonel John McRae wrote the poem in Flinders Fields.
Flanders Fields the poppies blow, between the crosses row on row that mark our place. And in the skies the larks still bravely singing fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders Fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe, to you from failing hands we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep though poppies grow in Flanders Fields.
When you're far from home, when you're lifting the fallen amidst grieving the body, forever the common.
The Ode is a verse from the poem For the Fallen by Lawrence Bingham. This poem tells us that while we can grow up in our free land, those who sacrifice their lives for our freedom cannot grow old.
They went with songs to the battle. They were young, straight of limb, true of eye, steady in a blow. They were staunch to the end, against odds uncounted. They sailed with their faces to the foe. We will grow not old, as we are who were left to grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them,
Lest we forget.
lest we forget.
We will now hear the tune The Last Post. This tune is played on army camps at the end of the day, on Anzac Day and at military funerals to show that an important soldier has died. And it is now at rest. The flag is lowered to half-mast. This is always done when someone important has died. At the end of the music, we will have 1 minute of silence. During this time, please bow your heads and in your own way, think about those men and women who have fought and died for our freedom.
hear the sounding of rouse, which is the tune played at the beginning of the day telling the soldiers to wake up. It is also played at military funerals and on Anzac Day to show the awakening of the soul to a new life. This year, 102 years since the guns fell silent, we reflect on the terrible sacrifices made by so many. We think of those who have lost their lives in recent conflicts. For we do still not live in a world of peace. We think of those who carry wounds, both visible and invisible, and of the families who support them. We can thank those brave Australians who fought in wars so that we can live in freedom. Their names will live on forevermore. That is the end of the Remembrance Day service. Thank you for your attention.